Alright people, going live on the site today, we are back in everyone's favorite planningless and zoningless Socorro County. More specifically in the Rio Grande Estates subdivision with not the usual 1-acre lot, but rather one of these super difficult to come by 5-acre lots, priced at a mere $8,000 with an owner financing option I will discuss later in the video. For now, however, let's go to the map. So, for the uninitiated, Socorro County is located about 40 minutes south of Albuquerque, and the Rio Grande Estates subdivision is located here, just outside Belen, and sandwiched between the I-25 corridor on the west and the Manzano Mountains in the east. This is a massive, massive sub that covers all the land you see here, with the majority of the sub located north of Highway 60 down here, and a small portion of the sub straddling the highway to the south. Now, it should be noted, guys, that when this subdivision was first created, the developer took these couple thousand acres you see here and divided them up into mostly 1-acre lots. In fact, if we go to the plat map, you will see that the sub consists primarily of 15 units of land, numbered 1 to 16. There's no unit 13, in case you're wondering. And these 15 units are made up entirely of 1-acre lots. And because of that, as well as various other historical factors I will not bore you with here, it is very difficult to find adjacent lots in this subdivision totaling more than even 2 acres of land. That is, of course, the case everywhere in this subdivision, save for 3 small units of land which were carved up into bigger parcels. Those 3 units are 31 down here, 32 up here, and 33 over here. And for the record, guys, if you're wondering why they numbered everything 1 to 16 and then started up again in the 30s, I don't know either. Whatever the case, our subject property is one of those aforementioned 5-acre parcels and is located up here in the northeast part of the sub in Unit 33. And before we go to the property photos, I just want to note that while Highway 60 is the primary way most people access this sub, being located this far north actually puts you much closer to the Paseo del Escarpado entrance up here just outside Vegeta. So, nice little shortcut, something to keep in mind if you do decide to purchase the property or you're just going out to scout it. Ooh, speaking of the property, let's take a look at some actual photos of it. Here we go, guys. So, first off, the property is located along a road the plat identifies as Hernandez Street, the quality and condition of which can be seen here. And I say a road the plat identifies as because while there are street signs in the parts of the sub closer to the highway and development, you will encounter fewer of them as you make your way north into the less developed regions. Either way, sign or no sign, this is the name of the road. Now, road conditions out here look like this at the property and in most parts of the sub. They're a little better down by the highway or in the more trafficked areas. And while our photographers don't usually have any problem on these roads, you might, so just keep that in mind if you're going out to scout the property. Speaking of the property, it should be noted that like most of the land out here, this one is very flat, meaning easy to park, camp, or build on. And like most of the land out here, it has some nice views of the nearby Manzano Mountains. And of course, when you're up in this part of the sub, there's some additional foothills to the north that present some nice views as well. Now, this 5-acre property, like much of the land out here, does not have power at the lot line. It does not have underground telecom. Those stop about a mile northwest of here, or likely further than you'd care to pay to have them extended. Point being, this is what is commonly referred to as an off-grid property, so bring your solar panels and or windmills, guys. Now, it should be noted that while the land doesn't have the presence of utilities, it does have property boundary markers in place, as well as fencing along the northern border, which, of course, will save you some money as you won't have to get the property surveyed and staked. Now, this property has a fence because this property has a neighbor, so let's talk about that a little bit. So, if we go to the drone overlays, specifically this one, we can get a better sense of the neighboring 5-acre parcel, what's on it, and how it's being used. Now, when our photographer was out here, he reported not seeing anyone. That said, I would guess that whoever owns all this probably lives somewhere close, outside Vegeta, something like that. And probably shows up here, does some work a couple times a week. If they're not living on the land, they're probably there often enough. Point being, most people buying land in a region like this want as few neighbors as possible. If that describes you, this may not be the property for you, though, people, I would remind you, 5 acres is a lot of land, and even when someone's living next door, they're still pretty far away. So, something to keep in mind. Either way, guys, if you are interested in the property, I would encourage you, maybe take a drive out there one day, see if the guy's around, see if he makes a lot of noise, see if he's the type you wouldn't mind living next to. Now, more to the point, just to stay on the photos of the neighbor's lot for a second here, you can get a sense looking at this as to exactly how flexible land use is in this region. This one looks like it's being used residentially, perhaps commercially. It looks like there's some storage going on here. I see an RV parked outside with no overhang, which is a must in a lot of parts of New Mexico. so on and so forth. And the point of me mentioning all this is that the reason we've been able to sell so many properties in the sub, the reason our buyers like it so much, the major appeal of this region, and more broadly Socorro County, is its lack of any sort of formal zoning. As they write on their county government website, and we transcribe on ours, quote, Socorro County does not restrict the use of real property. And in addition to that, the Rio Grande Estates sub has no HOA, no annual dues, no covenants, and no restrictions, which in turn makes this one of the few regions of the state where you don't have to jump through a lot of permitting hoops to build a tiny home, live out of a shipping container, an earthship, a renovated school bus, or even just park an RV for indiscriminate periods of time. Point being, guys, a lot more flexibility, a lot more independence, and a lot more freedom to develop the land, however, your little heart desires. Now, a couple things to know before we wrap up here, guys. First, as noted, this property is right outside Vegueta and only a little further outside Belen and then Los Lunas. Point being, grocery and supply runs will be pretty easy. Neither are very far away. Los Lunas has a Walmart and a Home Depot, and there's plenty of restaurants, pharmacies, banks, and medical centers in between. And, of course, whatever you can't get in those towns, you're sure to find up in nearby Albuquerque. Additionally, guys, something not a lot of people realize when they're looking to buy out here, but is a real benefit of owning land in this region, is the proximity of Elephant Butte Lake, just south of nearby Sierra County. Elephant Butte Lake is, of course, the largest body of water in the state, which makes it ideal for weekend boating and fishing trips. And, of course, there's a large campground and picnic areas, which you can further enjoy in your RV. Point being, the subdivision and the subject property are located in a real sweet spot in the state, being just a short drive away from both a major population center as well as a major recreation spot. So, of course, people, if you have $8,000 and would like to purchase this property, just come up here on the listing page, click the Buy Now button, and at checkout you can place the non-refundable. People, let me say that again. Non-refundable earnest money deposit of $500 will get you documentation within 24 hours. Then you can let us know how you want to pay the remaining balance, whether that be credit card, cashier's check, wire transfer, or if you would prefer to close through a title and escrow company. The choice is entirely up to you. And good news for those of you who don't have the entire $8,000 but would still like to purchase this property, which is that we are also offering an owner financing option. And if you come down here and click this button, you can read all about the terms on that. In short, it is $2,000 down and $250 a month for 34 months with a special 90 days same as cash offer. And as always, guys, if you'd like to learn more about either of these processes or read the contracts associated with either of them, both are linked here at checkout. Just click this and you'll see exactly what you'll be asked to sign before paying even $1.